toolkit pod, all the way at the bottom on the left. And so now at this point, I think I'm done, and I am going to turn the reins over to my colleague, Betsy Starr.
Great. Thank you so much, Preeti. And hello to everyone. It's great to see all of those pins on the map that was on the screen just a moment ago all across the country. Thank you all for joining us. So as Preeti said, I'm Betsy Starr with the National Center on Afterschool and Summer Enrichment, known as NCASE, and it's one of the National Training and Technical Assistance Centers funded by the Administration for Children and Families, Office of Child Care. Many of you may know that NCASE focuses on school-age children and works to ensure that they have increased access to quality after-school and summer learning experiences. So on behalf of our team, I'm excited to welcome you to this webinar introducing the NCASE School-Age Professional Development System Building Toolkit. So this new toolkit is a great resource for anyone thinking about strengthening support for the workforce in general and for out-of-school time specifically. And we've tried to make it useful to a variety of stakeholders, providing lots of school-age specific state examples and resources on professional development, and so we're really excited to be sharing it with you today. So here is our agenda. After we make some introductions, we'll give an overview of the toolkit and look at what's in it and how it's organized. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper into, actually we're going to go to some of the resources next with a highlight from New York State, and then look at some state examples with highlights from Maine and Michigan. And last, we'll have an opportunity for some discussion. You know that you're all muted, but via the chat pod, we hope to provide some opportunity for discussion. So be thinking of questions and comments, and feel free to type things in even throughout the webinar if things come up. We'll try to monitor that chat pod. So before we get started, I'd like to welcome our presenters for the day. And I'm joined today by my NCASE colleagues. Kathy Schleier is here, who'll be helping to facilitate some of our discussion time. I'm not sure if you'll get to hear her voice or not, but she's here. And also Preeti Washington, who you just heard from. She is a training and technical assistance specialist who works on the NCASE team, and it was kind enough to serve as our technology and collaboration host today. So thanks so much, Preeti. And also here are Lorraine Thorison from the 21st Century Program in Michigan. We have Pam Prevost from Maine Roads to Quality, along with Crystal Arbor, who's the Child Care Services Program Manager in Maine. And Kelly Sturgis is here from the New York State Network for Youth Success. So we're really excited to have them all here with us today to help bring this online toolkit to life. So before we even talk about this resource that we want to introduce to you today, we want to get a sense of who's here, who you are. And the poll will be launched. There it is. And so just indicate on this poll what type of organization you represent. See, already we have a few people who are CCDF folks, some resource and referral agency people, some representation from state after-school networks, and a couple people from other places, some Department of Education, who put themselves in a quality bucket, at least one 21st century person, some higher ed representation, training and technical assistance. Great, so we have a nice variety of folks on the line, which is perfect. We're hoping that this online resource really serves a wide variety of stakeholders. So this is great to have you all here. Just have a second for folks to add any more. I think we're good. Great, thank you. So, and one more before we really get started, wanted to just take a quick look at some working definitions. And there are a number of terms that you may hear when we're talking about services and care for school-age children. So I just wanted to take a quick second and clarify what we mean. And I will say from the outset that there is a lot of overlap among these terms, and we often use them interchangeably, but school-age care in general refers to the age of children served, and that is differentiated from infant, toddler, and from preschool care. Out-of-school time is kind of a general term which refers to programming outside of the school day, which may include before and after school, summer, weekend, and family or center-based childcare. And as you know, our national center name is Afterschool and Summer Enrichment, and so we use that term kind of interchangeably with out-of-school time. Great. So many things are necessary to support children and families, and one is professional development of the staff who serve them, and more specifically, the systems that we need in place to support that workforce. So NCASE developed this interactive toolkit to provide school-age-specific state examples and resources on workforce issues. So there's so much good work that is going on across the country in these areas, and this toolkit is really meant to bring some of that work together in a way that's easy to access for folks. So the hope is that you can learn from the work that's already being done, and that will spark your own next steps. So as Preet mentioned, but I will just note again for folks, there's this link on the slide to the toolkit, and that link is also on the left side of your screen in the notes. There's a box on the left that has a link, so if anybody wants to take a peek, you can have a peek at it there. And so this toolkit is designed for several audiences who might be working to strengthen workforce systems. State CCDF administrators, OST organizations such as your state networks and others, and providers of school-age childcare who might find helpful resources for their own professional development, among others. So let's see, this first section offers, you can see on this slide that it pulls out the different sections of the toolkit. So that's sort of the home page, and then inside the toolkit there is a toolkit overview, an area for foundational ideas, and then a section on career development system components. So here is just a quick look at what you'll see if you looked at the toolkit overview. It is just that, so I won't go into too much detail about that, but the next section in this online resource is titled Foundational Ideas. And so here you see, you can use this also as an example. So each section has a What Is It tab, which gives a bit more details on what the topic entails, and that's followed by a tab with state examples, and then another tab on resources. So here, you'll see that the What Is It section on foundational ideas really describes the importance of professional development for quality and the ways that the school-age workforce may be unique from the early childhood workforce in general, and the importance of really aligning services and supports for both early childhood and school-age providers. So, you know, kind of your basic ideas that are really setting the tone for this whole toolkit and all of the resources that we have for you. So the state examples in this foundational ideas section are Michigan and Maine, and we're lucky to have representatives from both of those states who we'll hear from in just a few minutes, so hang on for them. And the next section of the toolkit is on system components. So you can see here that there are several subtopics: core knowledge and competencies, career pathways, workforce registries, compensation and job advancement, and equity and diversity. And so each of these components or subtopics includes several state examples that can be applied to other states and territories. And I'm starting to sound like a broken record already, but if you've been following along, you can probably predict that each component also includes additional resources. So again, each part has a what is it, state examples, and additional resources. And this is a quick preview of an additional section of the toolkit that is currently in the works. And it is going to be on additional ways to support and sustain the workforce. And so we'll include training and technical assistance systems. It will include information about trainer preparation and also leadership development, and other workforce development issues like financial supports and incentives, some apprenticeship models, and recruitment and retention issues. So we are excited about this next section, and it should be up soon. So we'll definitely let you all know when this toolkit is updated, and you can find this additional information as well. So actually, I'm going to pause here, and now that you've had a brief introduction to the toolkit, I think we wanted to put up a poll and just get a quick sense of, again, you've just been introduced to this, but how can you see using this toolkit to support your work? Are there any ideas that you already have percolating of, oh, I definitely want to dig into resources on a specific topic, or anything that comes to mind? You can take a moment and enter anything in. Maybe this is something you might share with providers. Maybe it's something that you use as part of your own technical assistance. Maybe you can think of other ideas as you maybe are forming state teams to work on some of these issues. Looks like some people are typing. I'll pause and give folks just a minute. Some ideas already about maybe using it for training and technical assistance, or sharing it with providers. States that really have a need to support out of school time in general, yay. So this will hopefully be a great resource in a lot of ways. I see somebody saying and hoping that this will help with staff recruitment and retention. In after school and summer camp, yeah, so some of those items are specifically highlighted in that under construction section, so you'll definitely want to check back in with this resource in the near future. Training, great and guiding implementation of recommendations that have already been developed. Excellent. This is great. So yeah, so love that you're already kind of getting your heads around how you could use this. We really want it to be something that people return to again and again, and can use as a resource that's at your fingertips with, again, lots of state examples and resources. All right, so I'm going to cut off the poll here, but definitely use the chat pod if you have other ideas to share. But we will get back to the toolkit. And so we'll dive a little bit deeper now into some of these sections of the toolkit. So I have mentioned that one thing that is included is resources for each of the topics. And so these resources might be national resources, like the NAA core competencies that you might be able to see here on this slide, or maybe a resource guide from a state, or a research brief to offer additional background on a topic. So one of the resources that we'd love to highlight for you today is this Workforce System Development Questionnaire. And this is something that you can access both on the NCASE landing page to the tool, so this online toolkit, and also listed as a resource under the Foundational Ideas section. But this is a resource that was originally developed by NCASE, first as a self-assessment for use during our PLG on workforce systems. And we thought it would be a helpful tool for a wider audience. So we adapted it slightly and now have it for you here. And this questionnaire gives you an opportunity to think about where your state is at on developing various parts of your workforce system for OST. And Kelly Sturgis is here from the New York State Network for Youth Success, and she was the lead on her state team for the NCASE Workforce PLG. So she has firsthand knowledge of this tool. And we're really excited for her to share a little bit about her state's experience using the questionnaire. So Kelly, if you're there, we'd love to have you chime in now. And again, yeah, just share a little bit about your experience using it.
Sure, thank you. So in New York, our team was comprised of the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, which is our CCDS administrator, CCR&Rs. We had some school-age care credential instructors, other network staff, and other after-school providers. So we found this tool really useful, and we found it useful to have such a diverse team comprised of the public and private stakeholders, especially when it came time to answer this questionnaire. So completing it really allowed us to analyze the current state of the workforce in New York and identify where opportunities, gaps, and challenges were. Our goal was really to identify sustainable ways to collectively strengthen our out-of-school time workforce at the system level and build internal capacity for continuous quality improvement. We also looked at ways that this tool could help us with professionalizing the field as a whole, reducing turnover, increasing retention, and leveraging other state strategies just by being in that peer learning group. We then developed a plan of action based on the questionnaire, and some of these action steps included looking beyond our traditional credential, maybe looking at higher level credentials for staff that are promoted above frontline, looking at our professional development system as a whole, and looking at measurement systems to see if our professional development was actually working. And looking at that as a state, how are we communicating and marketing the value of after-school programs? So we really were taking a look at creating messaging for the broader community, so parents, schools, elected officials, and the business community, that our staff are professionals and that after-school programs are not just babysitting. And so we thought that through this sort of messaging campaign, we would be able to engage more passionate and intentional people in the workforce. We also were looking at developing a policy brief on how high-quality professional development impacts program quality and therefore increases retention and professionalizes the field. So at the conclusion of that, we've now kind of taken this action plan and brought it to our capacity building committee at the State After School Network, and now we're going to start to begin to actualize some of these next steps. And again, it was kind of all formulated through the use of this questionnaire.
Great, thanks, Kelly. Can you say a little bit more about sort of how you brought the team together, or if you have any tips for states to just literally how to get people, who maybe would be good to have at the table, and how did you structure? I mean, obviously you had the PLG, so that was kind of an automatic structure for to bring the team together. But if you had any ideas for folks, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, everything that we've done, any groups or committees that we have, we really try and get that cross-sector, all those voices from different areas. And so we knew it would be important to have someone from the state. We knew it would be important to have the CCR&Rs represented. And then anything we do, we want to make sure we have providers there. So we kind of just sent a blanket email out to people in all of those different sectors and hoped that we got some representation, and fortunately we were able to do that.
Great. Yeah, you had a nice diverse team. Excellent. Great. If anybody had any questions specifically for Kelly, feel free to type them in to the chat pod. I know she can't be with us for the entire duration of this webinar, so if you do have any questions, we want to get them in while she's still here. Excellent. But for now, thanks so much, Kelly, for sharing that, and we hope that lots of you on the line will be inspired to use this questionnaire in your own state and pull together your state teams and really take a deeper look at what you already have and what you might want to work on next in terms of your workforce systems. So thank you so much. We can now turn our attention to the state examples sections that are found throughout the toolkit. So you can see here on this slide, there's under system components, there are some state examples for really all of them, but here you see the core knowledge and competencies state example section, and you also see the career pathways state examples section. So how this works is how you might expect. The links, you can just click on the links, and so for example, if you were to see, we just heard from Kelly from New York, and if you wanted to look at New York's school age credential, you can click on that and it brings you right to the New York State Network for Youth Success page on their school age care credential. So that is a nice example there. And let's see, I think we've already asked that. So next we're going to turn to our other guest speakers here today. So Lorraine Thorson is here from Michigan and Pam Prevost from Maine to talk to us more about their state's professional development systems. So again, as I noted, you'll notice in the toolkit that both of these states are highlighted as state examples under foundational ideas, and they have many of the system components in place. that are further explored in the toolkit. So first, Lorraine can tell us a little bit more about how the Michigan state system is structured, how it's aligning early childhood, school-age, and youth services, and to share a little bit about how they've come to establish the components that they have in place. So Lorraine, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Hi. Thank you. This is Lorraine Thorson, and as the manager of the Department of Education 21st Century Community Learning Centers programs, I've kind of been assigned as the leader in the state of trying to convene out-of-school time programs to come together around quality. We first started by developing model standards in the state back in 2003, and from there we've been working together. And this slide's important because the title is Alignment is Key. It's about aligning what we do with other initiatives that are happening in the state. One of the problems that we've had over the years is to see that many of our programs are attached to different entities, and those entities all have a different idea about what we're talking about when we talk about quality and workforce and even the services that are provided for the children, youth, and the families. So in Michigan, we're working very closely together to support the workforce. Next slide. What happened was in 2011, our governor saw a opportunity to bring two of the offices that support children and youth together under the Department of Education, and he created the Office of Great Start. And that includes our early childhood education system, which is our Great Start Readiness Program, which is a 4-year-old funded pre-K program, our out-of-school time programs, which includes 21st Century, and our child development and care programs, which support all of those programs with the CDC block grant funds. So bringing all those together really helped us to start to be thinking together and talking together. We had already been working together across departments, but being in the same department has helped us to just work across the office. Next slide. So we've been working to align early childhood and OST systems for a long time, and we started with core knowledge and competencies. Like I said, we had the most standards, the Michigan Out-of-School Time Standards of Quality, which we call MOST, has been in place since 2003. We review those every 5 years so that we can really make sure that they're research-based and still relevant to the field. And the early childhood standards have been revised as well. And once those had been revised, we moved on to core knowledge and competencies. NAA had adopted in 2011 the core knowledge and competencies. Our State Department of Ed and our after-school network looked at those competencies and had been working on our own to try and put together core knowledge and competencies, and determined that our wording and the stuff that was being put forward by the national really kind of matched. So we just adopted those so that we wouldn't be looking at different competencies. And we also crosswalked those with our early childhood competencies, and in some areas they match. We've also been working to develop a career pathways component to all of this, and as we've been doing that, we've been talking about how do we actually tap into that career pathway for students, or for the youth development professionals and the early childhood professionals. So we started the My Registry, which was part of the CDC program, but have included also out-of-school time and school-age care professionals. And now we're moving into having all 21st Century programs also use the My Registry system. So all professionals in out-of-school time are using the system. We're also working to align that system with our teacher certification system so that those professionals who are certified teachers, either in early childhood or in school-age programs, can also earn their credits and have a single place to be able to combine all of their credentials. Within the My Registry, we developed a career pathway that reflects early childhood, and we also have a school-age pathway within that, which brings us to the Workforce Registry, which is what I've been talking about, and our Youth Development Credential and Certificate Program. We started years ago creating the Michigan School-Age Youth Development Certificate and Credential Program. We started with the original school-age care credential that the military had implemented, and have revised that and retooled it so that it's more relevant to all kinds of out-of-school time programs, not just school-age care specific programs, but also 21st century programs, Boys and Girls Club, any kind of program that runs a program for children that are kindergarten and up, all the way through high school. So our credential is available. It's not very well utilized, and we have been working to figure out what is the carrot that makes people want to get a certificate or a credential, and how does that work. We've implemented new licensing standards for child care centers that includes the credential and certificate as part of the documentation of qualifications, and we've also been working to align that credential with the Workforce Registry system that we already have in place. And with that, our next step is a workforce initiative that we've done, again, cross-agency, cross-office. We're working nationally with a Region 8 resource center to help us develop a program that will start with career and technical education in high schools, moving students through the program to get either the credential or the CDA, so that they'll leave high school with a credential of some sort, and they'll be prepared to work in the workforce, and they'll also be earning college, high school, or higher education credits while they're still in high school through this credential system. So we're working to implement that. The goal is within the next 2 years to have that in place across the state and have many of our high school programs offering that as an option for students. And we also have an early middle college program and a dual enrollment program for high school students that will be aligned to that credential. So that's our next step and our hope to really build that pathway. Next slide. Again, I just want to state that collaboration is really key. We worked together originally on the professional learning group with the Michigan Department of Education, our Great Start to Quality partners, which is the My Registry and the CDC program, Michigan Afterschool Partnership, which is our network, and with our Michigan Afterschool Collaborative, which includes our Afterschool Alliance, or not Afterschool Alliance, our NAA affiliate, Michigan Afterschool Association. We will be expanding the stakeholder group, and that's another key, is to keep that stakeholder group open-ended so that as stakeholders learn about the initiatives and have a place, we create spots for them to be able to be partnered with us as we develop this. We engage stakeholders through committees, focus groups, online surveys, and a lot of different initiatives that we're inviting people to the table to talk about how we can connect with them. If anybody wants more information, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to always talk about this. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Lorraine. It was inspiring to hear more about all the work in Michigan. I know you've been working on it for a while. Stuff doesn't happen overnight, but it's really great to see all of the collaboration and really the great things that can come out of that collaboration, the strength of the system that you can build when you do have things that are aligned. It's interesting, not to be Debbie Downer, but you did, I don't note that one of the things you're working on is trying to put some things in place so that more people take advantage of the credential, the school age credential. And, I feel like that's sort of the holy grail is this question of compensation. So you've done it sounds like you're going in a really nice direction around trying to get some licensing requirements in place and, build it into the registry. And, that's all definitely going to help and is super important. But I do feel like there's this other piece of the real carrot and increase in compensation. And so that is something that is just, it's harder to do for everybody. So again, stay tuned for the next upcoming section of the toolkit, which will kind of talk a little bit more in detail about some of those financial incentives and recruitment and retention and that sort of thing as some additional support. But anyway, great things going on in Michigan. Thank you for sharing. And next we have, do you have more to add?
No, I was just saying anytime anybody wants some supports in this area, again, I've been working on it my entire career. I'd be happy to add advice and hear from others and how they're making it work.
Great. Let's see, it looks like there's another question for you in the chat. Let's see, someone's wondering how you develop the assessment portion of the credential.
The assessment pieces of the credential were developed by a committee that reviewed the core competencies, the NAA ethical standards, and our most standards, and we had some college professors who helped us with writing an online test, and we do a true-false assessment, and then we also do a face-to-face kind of assessment using the YPQA, so that we actually observe people in their element operating programs for kids. Other one was about the NAA CKCs, and we do use those. We use the first two levels of the NAA CKCs for our certificate and credential. Certificate is level 1, credentials level 2, and then if we get into college courses, we'll be encouraging the colleges to use levels 3 and 4 and 5.
Great, and there's just a clarifying question, and I think the answer is yes, but just in clarifying that instead of creating your own core knowledge and competencies, you just adopted the NAA, the national set of core knowledge and competencies, and then you use those to guide your professional development. Is that correct?
And
yeah.
We also use, for every training that we offer through any of these entities that are on the screen, we make sure that they're aligned to those core competencies. So in our registry, every training is aligned to those core competencies, those 10 content areas.
Great, and another question probably for everybody on the line about your credentials. How many people are using the registry, and what are the percentages approximately of all OST workers that are earning credentials? And how many of those are on the registry? I guess sort of a sense of what your numbers are.
Well, in Michigan, we started making it a requirement for 21st century programs to use the registry, and we've encouraged every one of our 21st century grantees to also apply for at least one of their staff to be trainers within the registry, because they do in-house training. And we want them to be making sure that the trainers are approved trainers to do training. And all of our work with the Weichert Center and our work with our partner age groups are all being held through the registry now too. So I don't know the percentage and numbers at this point. This is a fairly new thing to require it of 21st century programs, but we feel that if it follows the history of the way our state has been following quality, 21st century sets the bar and other programs kind of step up to meet it.
Nice. Great. If there's any other questions, definitely just, we'll monitor the chat room, so even if we've moved on, you can still put a question in, and we'll be pausing again for some questions and discussion. So thanks so much, Lorraine. So now I'll turn it over to both Crystal Arbor and Pam Prevost from Maine, who can tell us more about how their state is structured and the components that they have in place for early childhood and school age, largely under the auspices of Maine Roads to Quality.
Yes, hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
This is Crystal Arbor. So I'm the CCF administrator for the state, and in that role I oversee the child care subsidy program for the state and the professional development. And with that, we partner with Maine Roads to Quality. We work very collaboratively with our Department of Education, and as well as in this new administration, they have realigned the Children's Cabinet, and so we bring to the table all key stakeholders. And in Maine, we do not have a CCR&R, and so through Maine Roads, we utilize our Child Care Choices website. Pam is the manager of the registry, and I'll turn that over to her.
Great. Hi, this is Pam Prevost from Maine Roads to Quality. And on the next slide, yeah. So you can see that it's really our vision for the Professional Development Network, which includes us as well as other partners you'll see, are really that all families and children have access to choice of high-quality care options. And that really, the piece is about having a diverse setting that meets their needs developmentally, culturally, and linguistic. This also refers to our practitioner population in the work that we do at the PDN. Next slide. So as Crystal mentioned, her office really oversees the work, and Maine Roads to Quality, which is who I work for, is really the early education and school age piece that holds the information from the registry, all of the training components and TA components. We also work closely with Center for Community Inclusion and Disability Studies, who works with our inclusion and diversity competencies. And then our database from the University of Maine is where we share information from our registry and the Quality for Me, which is our state quality rating system, as well as our Child Care Choices, which is our provider search and resource mechanism for parents. Also, a partner in this is our Maine Afterschool Network. So currently, Maine Afterschool Network, in addition to being a partner, is located at our Maine Roads to Quality office under USM. So we are very fortunate to not only have the system, but also have the proximity to work on these quality pieces collaboratively. Next slide. So elements that we've had as part of our professional development network are core competencies. So all of our trainings have core knowledge areas and CDA areas. We have specific trainings through age ranges, various settings that support our practitioners, actually children birth through 12. We have a variety of credentials, one of which is the youth development credential, as well as our early childhood credentials. And all of this information is housed in the registry, where we have a career pathway for out-of-school time care, as well as early childhood and public school pathways as well. Next slide. Additionally, because when we changed to the professional development network, we, as other states have R&Rs, we have peer support networks and district coordinators who work in the communities and often live in the communities that they are assisting. So Maine has 16 counties. Our northernmost county, it takes, from where Crystal and I are, it takes 4 hours to get there, yet it takes us, 2.5 hours to get to Boston. So you can see how large our state is. And for these practitioners, we're really very, we have the DCs that work in there and live in their areas, so they are really up to date on the geographic needs of those people that are in their community, as well as really the individualized linguistic, cultural, and type of learning needs based upon those individuals. We have a trainer preparation program where Maine Roads approves trainers, and all of our trainers are master's level trainers, which also helps with articulation of our credentials to higher education. Next slide. We have quite a large technical assistance program under which these, we call them on-site consultation or OSTs, consultation work, and our peer-to-peer network falls. So we offer accreditation cohorts for our out-of-school time programs currently through COA. We have our credential cohort, so folks that are interested in obtaining that youth development credential can join facilitated cohorts with their peers to work through the training, through the credential requirement. And then we offer face-to-face community of practice opportunities in each of our geographic areas. So we have taken all of our technical assistance and professional development opportunities and linked all of that information with our registry. So as people request technical assistance, they request the assistance and they pick a topic and they align it with the quality rating system standards. And we have a quality rating system standard specific for out-of-school time care as well. So everything that we collect and our data is able to really look at the needs of the folks that are part of our voluntary registry, which allows those people from child care license programs, license exempt programs such as REC programs, as well as our 21st century programs to all be part of our registry and the work that we do. Next slide. We have some really exciting things that are happening in Maine. We're looking at revising our quality rating improvement system. And so we have a out-of-school time pilot group that we're working with that has a variety of professionals to help us look at our current standards as we look to move this work forward. And we also have some really great workforce initiatives coming out this year as well. So we're very pleased with the help that we've been able to get through our CCDF partners, as well as the importance that our state and the Children's Cabinet is really putting on the importance of the workforce and the need to compensate and retain our workforce. I have Crystal's information, my information, and Erin's as well, if you have any questions.
Great. If anybody has questions for Pam and Crystal, now definitely enter them into the chat pod, and we will get them answered for you if we can. Thanks so much, Pam and Crystal, for sharing all of that. It's, I feel like you have such a robust system, and it's something that you didn't mention, but since I brought it up with Michigan about the compensation piece, I know you mentioned that you guys are, this is maybe not official yet, but you're working to get the TEACH initiative in your state. Do you want to say a couple words about that?
Yes, that's correct. This is Crystal. Yes, the Maine AUIC is partnering with TEACH, and with that, through CCDF funding, we are making scholarships available. We're looking to roll that out summer, as well as at the same time funding for Maine Roads to Quality to offer mini grants for quality improvement across the state to all types of providers, as well as our population of new Mainers coming in. In addition, we have some statewide initiatives from our office, waiving of licensing fees for the next 2 years. We also have focused on infant and toddler as well, but we're really looking to support not only the workforce that we have in place, but hopefully creating some big options for new workforce begin, as well as those that currently have a capacity, the ability to open new classrooms with these grants. And so, yeah, we're very excited here.
That's great. Good. So I don't see any other additional questions for you all at this time, but again, everybody should feel free to continue to use that chat pod. And now we actually have time for a little bit more broad discussion. And there are some questions I think they're going to pop up in chat pods, so you can enter your responses accordingly. So the first question, what did you learn from today's session? Anything that you didn't know already? Next, what steps might you take, I guess, based on the information that you heard, kind of using this toolkit, just the directions that your state is going in? What questions do you still have? And what else would you like to see included in this toolkit? As I mentioned, we have another section coming out, but we'll definitely be looking to add some updates and expand it. So if you have ideas of what you'd like to see included, let us know what you might find helpful. If there are, specific other topics that you'd love to have some examples of or other resources on. I'll give a few minutes for everybody to type away. And I'll also say that one thing that we would love to include in the future in this PD toolkit is examples of states who have adjusted licensing requirements for professional development, like for part-time staff, or who have specific school age requirements or specific school age trainings. So let us know if you have examples from your state or know of others. Yeah, I see somebody says the TEACH program is new to them, so I would definitely encourage you to Google that and find out more, because it is something that can be available in I think only maybe like a handful of states have it now. It's a scholarship program for early childhood. The other things that folks have learned. And someone needed a field overviews are helpful. Training tools. Other things to be included. More information about motivates OST staff to seek credentials. Absolutely. Connection to national efforts. To better understand the allied youth field through data collection, labor market info, etc. So yeah, I know there's a lot of work being done, so it'd be nice to include some of that here. There's some specific examples. Cultivate learning, 2-minute tips would be good to include, and some specific guidelines. Some great ideas. Let's see, in our, the next steps I know are not being broadcast for everybody to look at, but I will share some general stuff with you that we're considering sharing with statewide partners to facilitate discussions, exploring credentialing programs, and continuing to check in for updates. Bring the toolkit back to others to look for ideas that they can implement in their own state. Great. Okay, questions that you still have. So some of these you might be able to answer now, maybe not. Will there be other opportunities for PLGs for other states supported by NCASE? I can't speak completely to that, but I know that PLGs are something that are kind of part of our technical assistance that we offer, and so I would say definitely keep your eye out for additional PLGs. How can we get more child care programs that accept children through 12 years to become more involved? Great question. And I think, maybe if you dig through some of the state examples that are in the toolkit, you might find some ideas, or some of them might be through those kind of licensing requirements, or including folks in the registry specifically that your state might have. So yeah, it looks like the toolkit is designed to support stateside initiatives. As a provider, looking for things that you can do within your organization as opposed to statewide efforts. So yeah, definitely hear you on that. So this, I think that the toolkit is in general aimed kind of at a bigger systems approach, like a statewide approach, but I would encourage providers to dig deep into like the resources. I mean, there's things on credentials that your state might offer, and other training and technical assistance ideas that are out there. So for your own professional development, I hope that you'll find some useful things, but I think you're right that a lot of it is aimed at kind of a statewide systems perspective, which I think, as a provider is also really helpful to get that bigger picture too, so you kind of are, aware of what's happening at a broader level. Great. So, and definitely just wanted to let people know that if anybody has state examples to share, that you can email NCASE, and I'll say the address right now, but it will pop up again at the end of the slide. It's NCASE at ECETTA, like Early Childhood Education Training and Technical Assistance, info. Okay, so yeah, so I think that we can go back to our slide deck. Thank you so much for everybody's comments and questions, and yeah, I urge you to continue those thoughts. If you have additional feedback, to definitely let us know. And before we go, I just wanted to let you know about the NCASE Resource Library, which connects you with our tools, profiles, and information on a whole range of topics in out-of-school time. And this PD Toolkit is included in that library. Some of the other topics are family and community engagement, subsidy, eligibility and equal access, and summer learning. And we update this resource library regularly with the most current resources available, and really encourage you to check it out. So hopefully you can find some good stuff there in addition to this toolkit. So here is our contact information. So again, as always, we welcome questions, ideas, and feedback. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. And thank you all again. Thanks again to all of our speakers. And I hope that information that we've shared has been helpful and that you now feel very well acquainted with this online toolkit. And thank you all for taking the time and including us in your busy schedules. And thank you also for the work that you all do for children and families across the country. So again, you can find this toolkit in the NCASE library, and we'll let you know when it's updated with the additional information. And please take just a moment to complete the evaluation that will open up as we conclude. We'd really appreciate all that feedback.